My name is Mario Benavente. I'm from District 3, and I've been serving for the past 3.5 years, going into my second term. My story is like that of a lot of, I think, military brats here in Fayetteville. I was actually born in Korea, born abroad. My father was in the Army, and so as soon as I was born, we came to Fayetteville when I was about a year old, or Fort Bragg, I should say. After about a year, he retired, so we just went from Fort Bragg to Fayetteville, and we stuck around ever since. A lot of people know where Peden's is. It's like a seafood restaurant. There's a trailer park out there that was the first place that we moved into after we left base. The lot's still there, the trailer's gone, but that's where, I remember kind of growing up, we eventually got to the point after my dad got a job at the post office, which, a lot of our soldiers get good careers there. Ended up in the Greens is the name of the neighborhood off a country club in Ramsey, and I've been there ever since. So since '96, we've been in the Greens. My first job, I got a phone call from my buddy from next door. He was working at Piero's on Ramsey Street, and apparently one of the dishwashers decided they were just gonna walk out on the job. And so they needed somebody to fill the rest of the shift and to obviously finish his weekly schedule. So I pulled up at 16 years old to Piero's on Ramsey Street and started washing dishes. And that was my first job, finishing out old Pete's shift. So thanks, Pete, for the opportunity to take over. I enjoy singing karaoke. I enjoy kind of putting on a little bit of a show for folks at the White Rabbit and some of the places I hang out at. I've got a lot of good friends there, and it's not because I've got any sort of real talent in my voice, but I just kind of enjoy going out and hanging out with friends and doing that. Growing up here, and this is a shout out to Neil, who still runs, since I was 16 and in high school, the Coffee Scene's open mic. I remember going there and, practicing my little Jack Johnson songs and playing them for folks and, performing. I play music. I really enjoy music. And like I said, not because I'm particularly good at it, but it's something that, I'm really always happy and enjoy. Didn't get super into a lot of sports, but NBA, the drama, the talking heads, I'll listen to Skip and Shannon, Undisputed, and they make it sound like a soap opera, what's happening on that court. I'll listen more the day after a game than I'll actually watch a game, but I enjoy the drama. Go Lakers, even though they didn't make it into the finals. My biggest inspiration is definitely my dad. He was born in Arequipa, Peru, and he came here as a 17-year-old through an exchange program, went to high school in Wisconsin. He had an opportunity to attend Warren Wilson College right outside of Asheville. And while he was there, he got recruited into the Army. He ended up joining the Army, and he really made a life for myself, my mom, his brother, my uncle Carlos, has since been able to come to this country because of the efforts of my dad, and now he is a professor at North Carolina State, teaching web design. So he created so much opportunity for our family that again, a 17-year-old coming to this country, I mean, who could have imagined all that he was able to do? So he's definitely the biggest inspiration for me. I decided to run for city council after a lot of the community activism that came up around summer of 2020. The nation was really addressing some of the injustices that were occurring in Minnesota as it related to the George Floyd killing. And it's something that I felt very passionate about because, I have such a strong sense of what I believe is justice. And running for city council really had everything to do with trying to make public safety reforms that we see around the state a reality here in Fayetteville. The best piece of advice I have ever received, I think it has to do with maybe not sweating the small stuff, right? I think that there is a lot that we wish we could control, and that, for somebody who is always trying to do as much as you can to make change and to make things happen, sometimes you go overboard with that, and then you think you can control every possible aspect of a particular outcome, and that's just not true. So don't sweat the small stuff, focus on what you can control. I think that's the biggest advice I can give. My favorite thing about Fayetteville is this rich cultural history that we have, and it comes from the folks who have been here, who've built it up, who've made it a great place, and then you sprinkle on top the fact that we really are a city of nations. Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty, it brings in so many different people from all over the world that it really just does enhance, I think, the quality of life here in a way that very few areas in the country can say. So definitely the people, definitely the culture, those are my favorite things about Fayetteville.